Hi, and welcome to our next session of Roots, where we're looking at getting to know Jesus through the Gospel of John. And we've reached now John chapter 10. We're getting to the halfway point of John's Gospel, and things are certainly getting a bit more interesting, a bit more intriguing with what's happening with Jesus. But before we get into that, I want to just take us back to a time when I was a youngster. Back in the day, we used to live in Belfast in a house which backed onto a fenced playing area. We called it the Square because it was a square shape, and a whole number of houses encircled this area, and the kids from these local houses would regularly leave their back doors and assemble and play in this fenced off area. Football, tig, racing bikes, all that kind of stuff. And in the summer this would happen all day, every day. It was the kind of place to be, and it was a safe place to be, and we spent many hours there throughout the summer in particular. But at certain times, above all the racket of the shouts and the laughter and the screams and the nearby din of traffic noises, one noise rose above all the others, and it was the voice of Mrs. Margaret Burns, my mum, calling me in for tea, or because she was checking where I was. You could hear her above everything else. Obviously, there were times when, being any self-respecting young boy, selective hearing kind of crept in. But in all honesty, there was no mistaking the call which rang out loud and true of my mother's voice. And my friends, they may have continued on playing obliviously until their own matriarch called for them as well. And it wasn't that one mother's call was louder than anything else, although by the third unanswered call it was pretty loud. It was the recognition of a familiar, recognizable voice that was singled out amongst the playful din of our backyards and this back area, this back play area. We recognize voices when they're distinctive, when they're different or unique, and we think of well-known people like Alan Rickman or James Earl Jones, those instantly recognizable, mellifluous voices. But moreover, we recognize voices which are familiar to us, which are known to us because we've spent time with them. We recognize them also whenever they use our names, because the owner of the voice knows us too. That's the picture that's being painted by Jesus in many ways in this very familiar passage in John's Gospel. So let's look at John chapter 10 together and see what there is about Jesus in this passage, which may be new, maybe intriguing, maybe inspiring, maybe we've known it before, and it's just a reminder and a challenge to us that Jesus, the Good Shepherd, is the person whose voice we need to recognize.